It's 8:23, and we are at 43 degrees outside the Apple Tree Automotive Superstore studios. If it is 8:23 on a Monday, that means Dr. Nathaniel Cogley from Tarleton State University, who's department head for political and government studies, is with us as the articles of impeachment are supposedly being walked over to the Senate sometime this week, according to the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. So when it gets to the Senate, how are the votes likely to fall? Which senators could break away from their party and vote in the opposite direction? We welcome in Dr. Cogley with us now. Doc, always great to have you with us. And what are you thinking as far as impeachment goes?
Well, thanks, Mark. In the history of impeachment, the party with the president has never broken before.
Okay.
It's only the party prosecuting the president that has broken both times. So first, when we look at the party of the president, the Republican Party, there's 3 Republicans up for re-election this year in states that swing Democratic or are very close. That'd be Cory Gardner in Colorado, Susan Collins in Maine, and Martha McSally in Arizona. But these are very close states. So Clinton won Colorado by 4.9, won Maine by 3.0, and actually Trump won Arizona by 3.5. So because these are very close states, there's really no electoral incentive for these senators to break from their president. They do need Republican voters to show up, and they wouldn't want to alienate their base going into that. So I don't see any 3 of these breaking from the president. Then we have 4 Republican senators where it's not an electoral calculation, but they publicly disagree with the president a lot. That would be Mitt Romney in Utah, Ben Sasse in Nebraska, Lisa Murkowski in Alaska, and now Mike Lee has made some waves breaking with the president, right. At least his team on the Iran situation. But I don't see any of these senators actually voting to impeach. Where I see these 7 Republican senators, they could try to vote on the rules in a way that maybe McConnell doesn't want to. So it's not clear that McConnell's going to be able to control the rules once he gets there because of these 7 Republican senators. But I don't think they're actually votes for impeachment.
Mm-hmm. So how about Democrats? Do we see any Democrats that would vote against impeachment?
Yeah, I see there's 3 Democrats that are representing huge Trump states. So instead of like 5 points, we're dealing with Joe Manchin in West Virginia.
Right.
Trump won that state by 42 points. I mean, how can he possibly vote for this? Now, John Tester, Trump won that Montana by 20 points. That's huge. And then one of them is up for election this cycle. Doug Jones in Alabama. Trump won that by 27.7 points. So I'm looking at potentially 3 breaks. There are some other ones you keep your eye on. Kristen Sinema out of Arizona, she bucks her party a lot, but I don't see her actually voting against her party here. And then Angus King in Maine is actually an independent. He's not a Democrat, so he's in a position to do an independent vote too. But I see at least 3 breaks on the vote. I see only 44 votes for impeachment here. But again, if you combine all the Democrats with the Republicans, the votes on the procedures might go against what McConnell would want.
Yeah, and I think that's really the big question that so many people have right now is that are we going to see another full-fledged trial, or are we going to see McConnell just kind of come in and gavel this thing in and then gavel this thing out?
Well, it'll be John Roberts gaveling out. Yeah. And there could be Roberts is going to preside over that. And to the degree that it goes to votes, McConnell basically has a consensus of his party that they should wait on these things until they receive them from the House, that Nancy Pelosi is not going to dictate rules to them. They'll determine that at their own time. But there's no agreement yet on exactly these things. And again, there's a difference between some of these witnesses appearing versus what they're going to say.
Right.
They could appear on the stand and then an executive privilege claim is made on the stand.
Right.
So I could see this as one scenario.
Yeah, that's it's going to be. I think that's going to be the very interesting part to see. And then, of course, we've also got the political game behind this that McConnell could very well do the same thing that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi did, and just kind of put these things on the back burner and completely screw over all of the senators from the Democratic side that are running for president, because they're going to remain tied up in Washington with this thing and off the campaign trail.
Well, I'm starting to think she wouldn't mind that. Maybe Pelosi supports Biden.
Well, yeah, that's
true. She
true.
kind of doesn't mind screwing over these Democratic senators.
Right.
It gives Biden an advantage.
Yeah, well, and I mean, as we have seen with Biden's numbers, I mean, his numbers are still very impressive.
Well, yeah, he's held there at the high 20s, and he's still holding first place nationally. But things could turn bad once he starts losing states here.
Yeah, there we go. Doc, we always appreciate it. My guest this morning, every Monday morning at 8:23, Dr. Nathaniel Cogley. We certainly appreciate it, sir. We look forward to catching up with you next week.
Thanks so much, Mark.
You got to take care.